Alrighty guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have Drake Can't Stop Snitching. Shout out to Jamari for the video, and honestly, like the title conveyed, Drake cannot stop snitching. Whether it's on himself, UMG, LeBron, or the plethora of other examples, Drake has been on a kamikaze run unlike we have ever seen, moving as if he were a complete novice with a lack of self-awareness that continues to baffle me day by day. And with friends like Maul and DJ Academics, honestly, who needs enemies? Because with every narrative they try to spin, they just seem to make Drake look even lamer, and each time they try to crash out over a supremely erroneous claim, they effectively zap away more and more credibility, and it's obviously not like they had much to spare, with the way people have been perceiving them, and honestly justifiably so. But Drake does not need Kendrick nor the OVO army to destroy the way people look at him, because he's doing an amazing job of it on his own, and he's working overtime in what seems to be a baffling attempt to try to blackball himself. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the next video entitled Drake Can't Stop Snitching. And Drake is teaching a masterclass on how to self-implode.
So the entire situation with Drake has continued to get much worse, as he continues to leak songs, dry snitch on his former friends, and now continue with his lawsuit filing against UMG for the song Not Like Us. When Drake put out the Fighting Irish freestyle leak, it was clear that it was a direct shot at LeBron James, as LeBron has very publicly sided with Kendrick.
They're good. He's so good.
And honestly, I don't really think it was that deep. I just think the dude just really connected to the record like a lot of other people did, including myself. But I primarily think that LeBron just liked the song. I think he got swept by the same phenomenon that we all did. And as somebody that likes to portray themselves as some type of hip-hop historian, honestly, it was almost guaranteed that he was going to go to probably the biggest concert in recent memory, especially when it's in his own backyard. The guy plays for Kendrick Lamar's hometown Lakers. To think that he wouldn't be there is crazy. And it's not like the guy hasn't supported both of these artists throughout their careers. So because of that, I don't necessarily believe he felt any ill will towards Drake. It's just that the better music won, and the culture obviously spoke on that as well. But if LeBron didn't have any ill feelings towards Drake before, Drake is doing an amazing job of changing that. Because going out there and throwing allegations like this is obviously something that could potentially rock a marriage. So I wouldn't fault LeBron for feeling some type of way now.
Showing up at his pop-out event. In fact, he has been seen dancing to Not Like Us on multiple occasions, and at his birthday party recently, he even requested the song Man at the Garden from GNX be played as he rapped every word.
The world found love.
Bro is wavy off the champagne, but I just think that's another case where he's connecting with the record again. The I deserve it all line is definitely something that I feel like he would connect with, somebody that has worked so hard, especially with what seems to be the tail end of the party when most of the party has already gone. He's literally just vibing out, man. He's having a great time, and I feel like people are making a mountain out of a molehill. But bro was looking like he was vibing by himself, so I can't really roll with the narrative that he was trying to slight Drake in any which way by doing that. It's not that deep, guys. The guy is just connecting to Kendrick's music. And honestly, for a guy that is 40 years old now, he's a family man, he's probably in a place in life where he's going to relate way more to Kendrick Lamar records than Drake songs, because a lot of people do feel that Drake is having some type of arrested development when it comes to his music, because it hasn't really evolved much.
Love with the gimmicks, even my brothers got tickets. Seemed like they loved every minute. Just know this shit is personal to us and it wasn't just business. Talking about me family while I'm not the cousin or visit.
A very ingenious way to get the lyrics across.
God forbid we ever got to tarnish your public image.
Remember, Drake loves LeBron. His first radio single was about LeBron. Hell, he even has the man tattooed on his body.
Drake takes you.
That's honestly very, very weird. I feel like if my homie got anything about me tatted on him, man, I'm definitely going to file some paperwork.
Like, am I letting you down?
Yeah, and what'd I tell you?
What did you say to him?
You said that I can never let you down.
So this
honestly, that comes off like such a SNL skit. If you needed a video example of what it is to son somebody, that was it right there. Because LeBron looked at him like a father would look at his son. For Drake to then respond to LeBron as a son would. Yeah, you said I'll never let you down. Stuff like that honestly just tells me that LeBron doesn't look at Drake like a peer or a brother or a friend. The guy looks at him like his child.
This has all stung him really bad, and at the end of the day I do think that he does have grounds to be upset. But then ironically, or not so ironically, depending on how much of a conspiracy theorist you are, alleged text leaked from Drake.
Me and Universal was like if Nike was funding a campaign about LeBron cheating on his wife. Not Adidas or Reebok, Nike, the company he's been with since he started.
These texts stem from a situation with a clothing designer named Chris Griffith, who has worked with Drake's brand OVO in the past. He alleges that he had an interaction with NFL receiver Stephon Diggs, who he says tried to make a pass at him. But when he denied him, he claims that Stephon got spooked and sent his brother and his friends to whoop his ass in this elevator. Eventually, Chris would escape, and now it seems that Drake has some sort of information that could help him build a case. But Drake doesn't want to get involved, and that's where these texts allegedly originated. Now, when the text leaked, Drake turned to his lapdog DJ Academics to defuse the bomb. This a fake DM. Drake called Buddy a rat. He got mad and made up some fake DM to try and make the blogs and me go viral. End of story. Source: The Boy.
Good luck on the mission, bye.
And then Chris would in turn post a video screen recording as his proof that the direct messages were real. And if we are running with the idea that these texts are legit, it only further proves that Drake is capable of lying to academics,
effectively destroying his credibility. And usually, a reporter is only as good as their sources, and if the information they're getting isn't reliable, you cut the source. So honestly, that's another action that really shows me that Drake really doesn't respect academics at all.
Damaging his reputation as a journalist for his own personal narrative to be pushed. After this, academics would essentially crash out and give his advice for LeBron while also trying to expose him.
Maybe Drake will keep teasing it. Let me just tell you what I've heard. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-mans, okay? You've been cheating on your goddamn wife. Drake used to facilitate the host. And basically, you can't dance to a song about him being a He used to supply you with the bitches. I'm sorry, my nigga.
I don't really think LeBron James needs any help in that regard if he is doing any of that. And stuff like this is just going to alienate anyone else out of Drake's life, because why would you want to associate with a guy that's willing to air out your dirty laundry?
Yes, if I'm Drake, I snitch on you too.
Yeah, Academics is just begging for black SUVs to show up at his doorstep at this point. Also, what he says there about Drake bringing LeBron girls when he comes to his country sure does sound like a trafficking allegation to me.
Interesting.
Oh shit, I did show it. Nah, not like this is my number one. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was.
It's funny, in that very clip, he was talking about how he wasn't going to show his top records. Obviously, that's all it took for me to know that, yeah, More Than Lucky it was a Kendrick Lamar song. But the fact that, like, the nearest Drake song was, like, number 5 or something is also very, very telling. The guy has plenty of footage out there basically proclaiming Kendrick to be the number 1 guy, the best rapper out. And stuff like this just cements that fact that, yeah, he's a fan.
Not like us, Bent, Euphoria, Family Matters, and Push-Ups. I don't even know how it was number 1, but fuck it.
You know how
it was number 1 though, for real.
Regardless, Drake and LeBron continue to have beef.
That may have been a dig at Drake as well. Like, yeah, man, I really don't like you as much as I say.
I want you to know one
I think he really does resent Drake.
We're family. You're a brother of mine. You could never, ever let me down. Ever.
Now let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this lawsuit, where Drake had dismissed his own petition against UMG, which had people thinking for about 24 hours that he either lost or got nothing, or that he won and he was going to get everything that he wanted from UMG in the background. But the very next day, it would be known that Drake only withdrew that petition so that he could file a formal lawsuit against UMG. A single lie can destroy a reputation of integrity, and while it takes years to build a reputation, it can be ruined in 5 minutes. Lucian Grange. This is the quote that leads the entire suit. Some of you may remember that Kanye previously referred to Lucian as Drake's rich baby daddy.
Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
It does come off a little hypocritical for Ye as well, because he for a very long time was their golden goose as well.
He's like, you know, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy, Drake has a rich baby daddy.
He is actually the chief executive at UMG, and you can argue that he was instrumental in making Drake the monster that he is today. UMG is the world's largest music company, and also the music company that has represented Drake for more than a decade. Yet, on May 4th, 2024, UMG approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track that falsely accuses Drake of being a PDF and calls for violent retribution against him. Even though UMG enriched itself and its shareholders by exploiting Drake's music for years, and knew that the the salacious allegations against Drake were false, UMG chose corporate greed over the safety and well-being of its artist. So basically, Drake is
Well, they're both their artists at the end of the day. And honestly, Drake initiated the mudslinging. It's just that the narratives he was throwing out obviously didn't stick.
still crying that he lost the rap battle. I also find it hilarious that he calls them promoting his music for a decade, something that made him insanely rich, exploitation. Now that it is
billionaire,
convenient
basically.
for him, that is. And now he's crying out because Not Like Us was a mean song. But Drake insists that this lawsuit is not about the artist who created Not Like Us, aka Kendrick Lamar. It is instead entirely about UMG, the music company that decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false, but dangerous. UMG has also responded, by the way, where they pretty much cook Drake, telling him that they also published all of his various rap beefs and rap lines about other people over the years. But I guess
the thing is, at the end of the day, it's still the music business. So no matter what relationship you may have had before, it seems like you've overstayed your welcome because you've more than likely been throwing your weight around behind the scenes and making demands that back then they were forced to make because of the success they had. But like I said, the music business. So that means they're going to put their weight behind anything that's going to make them the most money. And that Not Like Us record was a phenomenon. Kendrick Lamar wasn't getting any promo runs for these records. He was just dropping them in the same manner he was. And he's more than likely not suing Kendrick Lamar directly because Kendrick could probably claim the same thing against Drake. So obviously Drake is not going to engage in that and just try to go at Universal, which is even a dumber move because, yeah, it's not like this is their first time trying to take on somebody that's trying to buck the system. I'm pretty sure their team of attorneys was like salivating at the fact that they can actually get to work.
guess he didn't have a problem back then. Drake claims here that UMG essentially used Kendrick Lamar to devalue and scathe his public image, so when it came time to renegotiate his contract in this year, they would have all the leverage, which does not make a lot of sense for them to devalue their biggest artist. It would be like me purposely tanking the biggest stock in my portfolio. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It is not just fans of rap music who now believes that Drake is a certified PDF. UMG used its promotional resources and exclusive licensing rights to place the recording on numerous national televised events, including but not limited to award shows, national political events, and more. Like, yeah.
Fam, to think that the people over at the DNC are being told to play the record by UMG, or that they had to tell the NBA or MLB or all the fighters are walking out to it with it in the background. The record was a legitimate phenomenon. It was tangible. You can put as much money as you want into a record, but if the people don't connect with it and it doesn't resonate with anybody, it's going to be pretty evident that it was bought for when nobody shows up in real life. You know what I mean? When nobody shows up to the arena, you can look at somebody like a Lil Nas X who was doing these crazy numbers but couldn't manage to sell out a theater. And with the subject matter of the record, the artist recording it, it was guaranteed to be a hit.
Yeah, the song was a #1 hit, and the phrase "not like us" turned into its own movement.
They're not like us.
I'll be feeling it.
They're not like us.
I don't know if y'all should be playing that Kendrick. Y'all want to get a lawsuit up here.
But I guess he's mad because UMG doubled down on the investment to make more money. Like, isn't that what a business does? Was it wrong when UMG published all the Eminem diss records back in the day? How about the takeover by Jay-Z?
Damn, how about back-to-back that rang off for like about a year? I'm pretty sure Meek Mill's attorneys is probably drafting up something right now.
Or hit him up by Tupac, or let's even go closer to home with back-to-back. Drake even tries to make the angle here that UMG paid influencers to react to the song, which in the world of music reactions on YouTube, literally everyone and their mothers hops on the newest hot song. It happens every time for well over a decade now.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 god. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 god.
And in response to Drake kind of calling out these streamers,
what's so wild about this is that the very people that were reacting right there were also reacting to the Drake records. It's just that they obviously enjoy the Kendrick records even more. But I don't think this claim holds any water at all.
There's now been a lot of evidence posted to Twitter to suggest that UMG never hit the various Drake disses with copyright strikes as well.
What's this, you fucking piece of shit? What's this?
So couldn't Kendrick make the exact same argument? That record also calls Kendrick a woman beater, and it says his child is not his, and it's still available on all streaming platforms. So once again, couldn't he make
I'm pretty sure Whitney would have a case too if Drake has a case.
the same argument? Like, imagine if Drake had come out victorious and people were dancing to his song saying Kendrick Lamar abuses women. Kendrick would look so weak for filing a lawsuit over
Why do they gotta make Kendrick's hand so small?
I guess I just feel like at the end of the day, they both engaged in this battle, and now this dude is just being a sore loser. Predictably, millions of people who listened to the recording or saw the image and video believed the defamatory material to be true. UMG had previously published Lamar's song Euphoria, which was also widely understood to be targeted at Drake, and which stated, "Don't tell no lie about me, I won't tell no truth about you." As public commentary confirms, the average listener or viewer has understood the defamatory material to reflect the truth rather than art or hyperbole. In the words of one commenter, now everyone believes that Drake loves touching children. So now...
Yeah, man, I think that's also misinterpretation as well. Kendrick Lamar never said that Drake is the PDF. He said that he has some weird people around him, which he does. He has Baka around him, who has a very weird case. You can't fault Kendrick Lamar for the culture and the people running with a narrative that he didn't exactly say.
The man who has spent the greater part of his career subtly bragging about smashing people's wives and having USBs that could end their careers is crying about suggestive lyrics. This is the least hip-hop thing I've ever witnessed.
Wack got one of those USBs too.
I study rap battles for a living.
He then goes on about how people tried to dig into his property with their bare hands to get access to his home.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
God damn.
What are you doing?
And none of your fucking business.
Why are you reaching under my fence?
And even notes the fact that he had to remove his son from his school due to safety concerns. It also sounds like sometime during the Not Like Us wave, Drake contacted UMG, trying to get the song taken off of streaming platforms altogether.
Purists and people who just love confrontation, they love to say, hey man, there's no rules in this shit, but there are fucking rules in this shit.
Of course.
In fact, he tried to get them to do this on multiple occasions, to which they basically just shrugged their shoulders, even saying that they would humiliate Drake if he wanted to take this to court. Drake then lists every single time that he has alluded to a straight up called a PDF in Not Like Us, and continues to insist that he was scared of physical violence resulting from the record. The record also repeatedly suggests that violence should be used against Drake because he is a PDF. Like the sound of someone being beaten up, the record repeats wop 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 wop, and then Lamar says, well fuck him up. Later the recording threatens that if Drake comes to Oakland where Lamar grew up, which I don't even think he grew up there, he will not make it out alive. And at the end of the recording,
yeah, obviously who's ever interpreting these lyrics for Drake is doing a very atrocious job.
Lyrics threateningly repeat, hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. God damn, this lawsuit got me singing along. I mean, seriously, I don't think I've ever seen a softer statement from someone who tries to present themselves as a mob boss. I mean, this guy has been literally running around sitting courtside with the guy who threatened Kendrick's life.
Biggest clown
me and Drake
ever.
are gonna link up in a couple days, and we're gonna play Not Like Us video, and we're gonna look at every nigga in the video, and we're gonna do homework. I don't fuck around, play around.
Like the ultimate crash dummy, man. This guy has received no buzz through music, so he's resorting to like the most outlandish claims. And for somebody that just skated on a charge that could have put him behind bars for a very long time, he's doing a great job at making sure he's right back in that position.
Around by Aubrey, that's my bro.
Snitching
Once
on
again,
themselves.
I guess that just doesn't matter, or doesn't
Why do all the shooters want to talk nowadays? I feel like that's a new trend.
make him a hypocrite. But the funniest part in this whole thing has to be when Drake says that the record is anti-Semitic. Furthering the recording's refrain that Drake is not like us, the recording alludes to Drake's Jewish heritage, saying that Drake is not a colleague, but a fucking colonizer. I mean,
yeah, when he's saying that, he's referring to the fact that you're not of the culture. He's not referring to anything else other than that.
Seriously, no one took that as a diss on Jewish culture. He was just basically calling Drake a Canadian poser who bites sounds and rides waves to stay on top, and that he's really never had no sense of true identity. The allegations against Drake are unequivocally false. Drake has never been charged with, indicted for, or convicted of any charges of violence or assault, including but not limited to sexual violence against a nor has Drake ever engaged in an inappropriate romantic or behavior with a minor. But what about that one video where he fondled and kissed the girl on stage after she said she was 17? Either way, I don't think that anyone was out here saying that Drake was hitting kids up or anything like, oh, wait.
We just texted each other the other day and he was like,
Crazy.
I miss you so much. I was like, I miss you more. He's coming to Atlanta, so I'm
I don't care how much of a fan you are of a show. This is not the move, bro.
definitely gonna go and see him. I'm so excited.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys. He helps me.
What?
Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him.
What's his advice with boys?
You know, that stays in the text messages.
Either way, it's a rap battle, dude. Lies are going to be spun, and when you did that Tupac AI didn't you tell him to come from this angle? Didn't you say the Epstein thing was what you expected? And let's not act like he didn't have his own share of non-substantiated claims. Kendrick never went to jail because he hit his wife. There's no information to suggest that his kid is his biological son of his best friend. Can you imagine if Biggie had gone to—
Drake also rapped about how Kendrick was touched. So like I said, I don't expect him to sue Kendrick Lamar directly, but he better be careful because if not, he's going to get slapped with 2 lawsuits coming from Whitney and Kendrick.
to court? Your Honor, he did not fuck my baby mama, and I'm not a fat motherfucker. Lock this man up. Drake then cries out because in the wake of him getting his ass kicked around, UMG never checked on him. He also blames UMG for people showing up at his house trying to attack him in the wake of the beef.
Drake's mansion is at the center of a shooting investigation right now. Police in Toronto say one man was shot and is in the hospital. It comes as the rapper has been in the news for a highly contentious, very public, weeks-long feud with another rapper, Kendrick Lamar.
He then cites his issue.
I hate that they're connecting that incident as well. I don't think Kendrick Lamar is sending up any goons to Toronto to do anything. I've said before how I've talked to homies from Toronto and a lot of them have said the same thing. Drake is not as beloved as he claims to be, and he definitely has his own set of domestic enemies. He allegedly has connections to the Hells Angels, allegedly through 40. So who knows, that could just be another extortion play. And now obviously with the situation, he's trying to pin the incident to UMG and Kendrick Lamar.
Issues with the imagery used in the Not Like Us video, like the shipping containers alluding to human trafficking, and the hopscotch alluding to little girls. UMG also knew, or should have known, that by publishing the defamatory material, it was gambling with Drake's safety. Critically, in addition to accusing Drake of being a criminal. Yeah, I guess when Drake called Meek Mill a rat who wears wires, that wasn't putting him in harm's way. Like, wouldn't those things be considered a massive violation in the street culture that Meek—
Of course, and supremely dangerous, because now you have a target on your back because of the claims that Drake is throwing out.
is affiliated with. Drake then spends time crying about articles, retweets, and Instagram posts. Basically, he's upset that the label utilized social media to promote the #1 song in the world. UMG also granted licenses for the recording to be played at sporting events, award shows, and political rallies.
Of course.
The recording has been played and broadcasted on television coverage for the MLB, NBA, and WNBA. Yeah, just like every other hot hip-hop record that's ever come out. Like, they did this for Drake so many times. I mean, Drake literally rapped back-to-back on TNT with Shaq.
I learned the game from William West, so you can never check me. Back to back for the boys that didn't get the message. Back to back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. Back to back like I'm Jordan 90s.
Damn, what a hypocrite.
90s.
And later made jokes and allusions to the beef when he hosted SNL.
Good job, that's it. I'm doing great, you bitch. Say that again in my face, nigga. Suck my...
Greg, everything okay?
The other thing is, the Dodgers just won the damn World Series. Of course, they're going to play Not Like Us, the LA anthem.
yeah.
But of course, he blames the streams on payola, citing a case that UMG lost 20 years ago.
And that's a very, very serious claim because that is a federal offense. And if Drake has done any of this stuff, or his team has done any of this stuff, it's going to look very crazy if UMG provides evidence that he's done the same.
And once again, it was those damn bots.
This is what a streaming farm looks like, aka the black market of the music industry. It's how some musicians and labels distort reality to push their tracks to the top of the charts and earn more money.
This is a common
Streaming farms
thing.
use bots to artificially play music on platforms like Spotify or Apple Music to drastically inflate the numbers of streams a song gets.
As he cites the infamous DJ...
Yeah, if you guys don't know, streaming farms is definitely commonplace in the industry. And while that aspect is relatively new, it's not like the labels haven't done stuff like this before when they had physical sales. Back then, a portion of the budget was allotted to buy records to pump up first week sales for the same reason that people try to buff up that initial engagement on songs.
academic stream as evidence of this. He's even mad at Joe Rogan for talking about this record.
It is pointing out, it's so personal, the things they're saying, because, you know, he's calling them in the song, literally, because he said you have an illegitimate daughter, you groom women, and then Drake's comeback was, I don't have an 11-year-old daughter, and Brian said, hey bro, address the other shit.
This guy has YouTube reactors and Twitter memes cited in the lawsuit, and it's just crazy how times change once the tables flip. Like back when he was on Meek's ass on stage performing back to back, he had memes antagonizing Meek popping up on screen behind him. In the summer of 2024, users updated the description of Drake's Toronto address in rideshare applications Uber and Lyft. Users have added the address to read, Drizzy touches kids, Drizzy's fun time chamber, and a minor. So now Drake is seeking this defamation claim, which means this was never really about the music industry and saving the little guy from getting bullied by the machine. It was about him having his feelings hurt and being a very sore loser. And I really do feel like his ultimate goal here is to try and tie this song up in litigation so that it cannot be played at the Super Bowl, or that UMG would have fears of that happening. Ultimately, this is one of the most hypocritical things I've ever seen play out, period. And sometimes you just have to know how to hold your L and firmly grasp it, dude. But no, he's out here suing people, crying about LeBron.
It was so awkward that Chubbs couldn't even look directly at DeRozan. I feel like if the dude were to look at him, he probably would have busted out laughing.
That he went to, and how no one said his name, and the energy was different. Like, all this guy had to do was be pretty unbothered, get off Instagram, stop all the little girl antics, disappear for the rest of the year, or just be a little bit more subtle, and then come out in 2025 with some hot records, and most of his fans would not care about this anymore. Like, a lot of Drake fans are just very casual rap fans, or they might just like pop music, as a matter of fact. They don't really care about all this rap shit. Instead, he just keeps reigniting the flame, prolonging the situation, and making it 10 times worse. It's like if he got kicked in the balls, and then he keeps going back for more. I just think above all things, the logic
man, at this point, Drake is a masochist.
of this lawsuit is deeply flawed, and the evidence he has here is like a bunch of social media posts and Drake fan pages and all kinds of weird shit. So I don't really know who is in Drake's ear telling him to do these things, acting as if it's some sort of good idea, but I doubt we're gonna see music from Drake for a very long time now. We may never see him release music in the same way, and this really might be his attempt to be like, yo, I want to cash out with this $1 billion settlement
right
or
off into
whatever
the sunset.
it's gonna be, and then I'm just gonna remove myself from the
Escape
music
the Turks
industry and
and
maybe
Caicos.
like release music independently. But it's like every move since the beef has just screamed, God, I'm so bothered. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this down below. I will.
Yeah, man, obviously he's super bothered, and he's showing us day in and day out. Even though Kendrick Lamar obviously had an effect on Drake's career, I feel like most of the damage has occurred because of Drake. It's like a total lack of self-awareness, or this irrational confidence, this hubris that honestly comes probably from being the top guy for so long. And now that he's gotten punched in the face, it's like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And Drake doesn't know how to act, even though these actions do fit his profile. It's not like he hasn't threatened litigation before. When he was on Degrassi and they put him in the wheelchair, he actually threatened to sue because he thought it would hurt his like burgeoning rap career, which obviously it didn't. It just gave us tons of joke material. But doing all this, Drake has effectively opened Pandora's box. And now that it's open, you can't close it. Even if you drop this suit, there's still some heavy ramifications that you're going to feel. Even if you do go independent, even if you are able to get off this deal, you've pretty much pissed off every major player in music by going at Universal, who owns close to 70% of all commercial music, and then threatening all the DSPs. And while you did rescind that legal action, and in your new updated filing, you took Spotify out of that, they definitely are going to remember that. So you can have all the fans in the world, but if people can't find your music, it makes no difference. If they delist you off the playlist, you're more than likely going to see a 60 to 70% drop in streams from that, because the bulk of casual listeners honestly just load up their favorite playlist and just hit play. And the fact that he's also made enemies with like the co-founders of Reddit and X, it's going to make life really hard when it comes to broadcasting any of this stuff. So unless you're comfortable with the only people listening to your records having to directly click on a link, I suggest that you change your strategy. And honestly, I don't think that's something that he's going to do. It's kind of crazy to think that there's not at least one person telling him that these moves are wrong. But I think this guy's coming to the realization that, yeah, it's never going to be the same. And we just try to get this big bag, even though it is a Hail Mary. And then he rides off into the sunset. But his perception will forever be altered by not only Kendrick Lamar, but the countless L moves he has pulled off this past year. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think there is any salvation for Drake's career? Do you think if he drops some fire music, do you think it's going to be able to actually do anything? But it's not like the guy hasn't been dropping records just for them to go and disappear off the charts after a day or two. And also let me know if you guys think that this beef with Kendrick Lamar is what brought on all this behavior, or do you guys think that this was just Drake the entire time? Because like I said, this isn't the first time that he's threatened legal litigation, but this time he's actually going through with it. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does your channel wonders. And I really want to thank you guys so much for making this channel a part of your day. It honestly means so much. The love and support you guys show this channel on a daily is honestly overwhelming, and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have to say on this topic, because this is freaking crazy. And I hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. This has got to be the quickest downfall in entertainment history.